Hello and welcome back to another episode of Video Game Details, the series where we take a look at some of the cooler things you may not have noticed in your favourite games. In today's video, we take a trip to rehab in Grand Theft Auto 5, we reunite Batman and the Joker in Mortal Kombat 11, and we make an unfortunate discovery in Batman Arkham Knight. As always, if you think you know of a video game detail that I may have missed, then the best place to let me know is in the comments section or on my social media accounts, the links to which are in the description. Oh, and if you are enjoying this series, then a like is really appreciated. Anyway, without further delay, let's get started. So let's start with the excellent Grand Theft Auto 5. GTA 5 is an absolute masterpiece, and despite being nearly 7 years old, it's a game that feels like it could have been released yesterday. Like Rockstar's most recent release, the equally brilliant Red Dead 2, Grand Theft Auto 5 is packed with some excellent examples of attention to detail. But this first detail is something I noticed when replaying the story mode. During the mission Chop, Lamar asks for Franklin's help in kidnapping an OG baller. The two cover their faces and try to keep their identities a secret. A pretty good idea, but that's not going to be a lot of help when Lamar's van has this number plate. I mean, if you play GTA 5, you'll know that Lamar isn't the sharpest knife in the drawer, but to plan a kidnapping with your own name on the license plate is pretty dumb, even by Lamar's standards. Oh, and just before we get into the really cool details, you may have noticed that some of the paintings in Michael's house are painted by this person. So the paintings were made by someone going by the name of R. North. Who is R. North, you ask? Why, Rockstar North, of course, the developers of GTA 5. I know this isn't a massively impressive detail, but I thought it was something cool that not a lot of people would have noticed. So some of you may be aware of Parsons Rehabilitation Centre, a place for Los Santos' finest to recuperate. Exploring the centre, you can find therapy sessions and group yoga sessions taking place in an effort to get the guests at the centre back on their feet. Now often, these centres are frequented by the rich and famous, and wherever the rich and famous are, the paparazzi are sure to follow. So at certain times of the day, the paparazzi will be camped outside of the rehab centre, hoping to capture pictures of celebs in need. It's a really cool detail, and one that I'm certain other developers would have overlooked. This final detail from GTA 5 can also be seen in Red Dead Redemption 2, but in a different way. In Red Dead 2, robbing a store and assaulting the shop owner would have consequences, though they wouldn't necessarily be for you. If you were to steal from a store and head back a couple of days later, the shopkeeper would look like this.
For you as long as you're in here. Hear me?
So battered, bruised and bandaged. Well, in GTA 5, if you rob a store, this will happen.
Let me know if you need anything. Always
No
5
heroics.
minutes before I go
Just
home.
give me what's in the register.
I'll do whatever you want. Please,
You know
I
what? You
don't
should see
have
a
any
doctor
more.
for that shit.
So a nice and smooth transaction. If you head back to the store though, the owner won't be as accommodating.
Fucking buster.
Greetings.
Every day is
I just started
Give me
my
whatever
shift.
you got in the
Greetings.
register.
I got something for you, all right.
So after your first robbery, the owner isn't as welcoming and has equipped himself with a shotgun, which is a really cool detail. Up next is Mortal Kombat 11 and the DLC character, the Joker. Despite not being in the game, the Joker makes several mentions to his longtime friend / nemesis Batman, but there is one particular detail involving the Dark Knight that I wanted to highlight. The Batsy-Poo is a move where the Joker pulls out a Batman ventriloquist puppet and mocks Batman and his opponent. Usually this move takes 1 to 2 seconds to perform, but if you perform the cancel version, it lasts a bit longer. Allow me to demonstrate.
Look, it's Beto! I'll save the day. You'll pay for this, Joker. Pipe down, Pipsqueak. Useless. Get out here. It's dark in there. Don't bats like the dark? Wait, who's that? No, just some clown. Scram. Ta-da! I'm so tough. Aw, so cute. Pick on them. Get 'em, bats. Useless.
Now I don't know why, but I found these really funny, and again it's another moment from a video game that I hope a lot of you haven't noticed. Whilst we're on the topic of Batman, let's take another look at Batman Arkham Knight. Of course, Arkham Knight is the most recent game in the Arkham series, despite releasing all the way back in 2015. There has been some recent speculation about a new Arkham game, fueled by tweets like this from the official Warner Bros. Montreal Twitter account, but as of yet, nothing has been confirmed. Fingers crossed we hear something soon. One of the most memorable scenes from Arkham Knight is the Eggcellent opening, where you play as a police officer in a diner, being served by a friendly waitress. Things soon take a turn for the worse though, as the Scarecrow's fear toxin is released, causing everyone in the diner to lose their minds, though the fate of a lot of the diner's patrons and staff is left to the imagination. Well, during the Ra's al Ghul Most Wanted mission, you have to visit the morgue, and it's at the morgue that you can find this. So this is the body of the waitress who served the officer at the diner. I did check to see if shooting or not shooting during the opening would make a difference here, but the waitress still ends up in the morgue regardless of your choice. So Saints Row the Third recently received a very impressive remaster, despite what some websites reported. IGN. The detail that I wanted to share from Saints Row 3 is actually a reference to another open world game. If you create a female character and use the second voice option, when you leave your character idle, they will sometimes say this.
I wonder what Cousin Nico is up to. It's been so long since he called.
So in a very thick Eastern European accent, your character will wonder out loud where their cousin Nico is. This is almost certainly a reference to Nico Bellic, the main character from GTA 4. Up next is Hitman 2, and to save everyone a comment, yes, I have covered the fact that Agent 47's weight shows up as 47 on the scales, though I do thank you for taking the time to help me out. Now this detail I wanted to cover today is a little more morbid. On the Haven level, you can do this.
Lumps of coal up there. Just gently squeeze. Huh?
So taking these two guards out while they are playing a game will cause a "you lose" message to appear on screen. So not only did they lose their lives, but they also lost their progress in game, and if I'm honest, I can't decide which is worse. 2 Point Hospital is a game full of charm. Whether it's the crazy new illnesses or funny tannoy messages, there are plenty of moments in the game that will make you smile. One moment in particular that made me smile is what appears on screen when placing down an arcade cabinet for your staff to enjoy. So Sonic the Hedgehog seems to be the game your staff can play to de-stress after a long day. Of course, 2 Point Hospital is published by Sega. Again, I know it's not a huge detail, but I liked it. So after opening the video with one of Rockstar's classic games, it's only right that we end it with another. We all know that Red Dead 2 is an incredibly detailed game, but this next detail even surprised me. In the town of Rhodes, you can find a bell. Well, if you shoot the bell at night, the sleeping citizens of Rhodes won't be too happy. So that's it for today's video. If you enjoyed it, then a like is really appreciated. If you're a fan of Easter eggs and secrets in games, then perhaps consider subscribing, as that's what this channel is all about. If you want to support the channel further, as well as see your name in the credits and get access to videos early, then check the links to my Patreon in the description, or become a YouTube member by clicking the join button. Thank you all for watching, and I will speak to you all soon.